Have you tried to fix a certain part of your life, or maybe your whole life, and nothing ever seems to work? That's because you didn't fix the source of these problems in the first place, which is yourself. Essentially, in order to change a part of your life or your reality, you must change yourself first. Okay? You need a new identity in order to experience a new reality. And it's actually not that hard. Let me explain. So you're probably wondering right now why like anything you ever do doesn't work or may even bring about more problems or you just don't finish it. That's just because of cause and effect. And what you're trying to do is change an effect. You can't change an effect by changing an effect. You get what I mean? Let me give you an example. Like, if you're bad with money and you want more money, you try to go get like 3 jobs and really try to hustle. I mean, which is the common sense thing to do, yeah. But you're not fixing what made you bad with money in the first place. So you're just gonna keep trying to get jobs and just outwork yourself. And you're just gonna keep trying to fix the same problem because you're not really fixing it. Does that make sense? Like me, for example, I've always been a very like shy person, very like socially, not socially awkward, but I lack communication skills for sure. I had no social skills whatsoever. Okay. I was scared to talk to a wall. Like I would not talk to people. And I was just like this my whole life. And essentially, what I tried to do was talk to more people. Did not work. Okay. And honestly made it even worse because I didn't fix the cause. And essentially, what the cause is you. It's yourself. It's your whole identity, your self beliefs, how you think, how you act, how you feel. All those three things make up your identity. And to bring the money example, the reason you're bad with money is because you say you're bad with money. You act bad with money. You think bad with money. Therefore, you bring forward circumstances in your life that just make you bad with money. You know what I mean? So like no matter what you try to do to make more money and do more money, bad money circumstances are just going to keep coming. And for me, and then me again, for example, like the more I tried to talk to people, the more it just got worse because I didn't fix the cause of my issues, which is I lack confidence. I was shy. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't fix that. So that's why it never worked. And that's why the more things you try, that's why it seems like it doesn't work because you're trying to change the effect. Like y'all feel me? Like I hope it makes sense. Cause and then I realized I started to fix the cause. I really started to like look inward. I really started to look inward and try and fix my identity. I tried to fix the cause because at the end of the day, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. How you think, act, and feel, well, that's how you see the world. I'm sure that part makes sense. Okay, and then you'll just bring forth more circumstances of that identity that you have. You get what I mean? And if you're trying to change the effect like consciously, and but the cause is different, it's just gonna be it's like ping pong. It's not gonna work. Nothing's gonna change. Like y'all with me? Like I hope y'all feel me on that. And that's how your identity just affects your reality. Like you have to change your identity first. You have to get to the cause. So whatever your problem is, just reverse engineer it. Think back, okay, like why is this happening? And you're probably wondering right now, like, what is the first step in order to change your identity? The first step is actually like, it's simple, but it's hard at the same time, which is being conscious of your thoughts and actions. Okay. Learn to be the observer. Okay. You want to imagine yourself at, on the side of a river, like a riverbed. Okay. And you want to imagine all your thoughts and actions just flowing. Just watch. I don't want you to dwell on them. Acknowledge them, but don't dwell on them. And really think to yourself, does this align with my ideal self? Does this align with the goals and the person that I want to be? If not, acknowledge it and just get rid of it. And every time that thought comes back, just just ignore it. Okay? Or not ignore it, but like don't try not to think those thoughts again because the body and the mind are so addicted to that identity that you created in yourself right now or your old identity because the body and mind doesn't loves nothing more than comfort. Okay, and when you try to change and when you try to get out of that, your body's gonna snatch you back. That's when you start wavering. That's whenever like when you try to start doing something or try to think something new, your body and mind start psyching you out and try to trick you. Okay, that's when you start to waver. Like when if you start trying to go to the gym and get in shape, that's when your mind is like, like I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, it's raining outside. I'm not gonna go today. I'll do it another day. Like, oh, I'll go next week. I'll start my new job this week. That's when you what's it called? That's when you really have to be really conscious and be like, Hell no. Okay? That's the first step. You want to disassociate all the thoughts and your actions of your old identity. And one thing I really highly recommend to do that would help you with this, even if you've never done it before, I would highly recommend learning to is just meditate. Okay? And I'm sure there's like a million ways to meditate. There's not one right way. It's not what a lot of people think it is, crisscross applesauce in the damn mountains with a damn, I don't know, with the robes they be wearing. Y'all know what I mean. Okay? You have to find whichever way works for you. But essentially, the point of it is, and what it teaches you to do, it teaches you to be more present and have you be more conscious of your thoughts and actions and your emotions, which is what I'm trying to teach you, and which is like the first most important step, the first step and most important step, I mean, my bad, to changing your identity is firstly being conscious. And that's what it teaches you. For me, for example, like we were talking about earlier, like how I was trying to have more social skills. That's a big part of my reality and a big part of my life that I really wanted to improve. Like I wanted to be able to communicate people without shitting a brick. Okay? Because like I was extremely shy. Okay? 5 years ago, I would not be in front of this camera right now. Like this, looking at me then to now is crazy. Okay? I was never the best communicator at all. And I still kind of struggle with it. But the point is, for me, like I said earlier, I was trying to change the effect. I was trying to talk to more people, and it made it worse because it made me even more shy and more self-conscious until I realized what I did in the first step, or what I'm telling you to do in the first step. I became more conscious of my thoughts and my feelings, and I realized why I was the way I was. I realized my cause, my why my identity was the way it was. I was telling myself I wasn't confident, I was ugly, I'm shy, I'm this, I'm that. I just had all those types of thoughts in my head, and I was just observing them, and I realized, like, damn, like this is not like who I want to be. These are not the types of beliefs I want to have. These are not, and then it would just make me do things and act a certain way because that's what your identity does. Once you become conscious and you learn to be the observer of your own thoughts and actions, and discover who you really are, your identity, the cause. I hope you've been paying attention. Now you start to change the effect, okay? Because you're creating a new cause for yourself. And after you create a new cause, that's when you change the effect. Because essentially before, you were just putting the saddle before the horse. And the way you do that is you reinforce new thoughts into yourself. And you create a new self-beliefs. You start creating a new identity. And therefore, just naturally, you start taking different types of actions, more actions. After observing my thoughts, I really learned my cause was just a lack of confidence, like I explained earlier. So I was observing my thoughts, and my thoughts were like, oh, I'm shy, I'm ugly, da 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 da. I started to replace those with I'm confident, I'm handsome, I'm those things. But I wouldn't say it out loud. Like it wasn't like an affirmation or anything. But I started to just get rid of those old thoughts of my old identity and replace it with new thoughts and my new identity. You want to think and act in a way that your ideal self would be. Does that make sense? Like think to yourself when a thought that you don't like comes across your head as the observer, would my ideal self think like this or act like this? Every single time, just ask yourself that. Okay? And I started doing that, and I started to take action that would fix my cause. So I started to do things that would make me feel more confident. Start going to the gym, da 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 da, like all those type things that make people feel confident. Okay. And then after I fixed the cause, me becoming confident, then I started to work on the effect. Then I started to talk to more people. And that made it better for me. And with more reps and the more repetition you just overall get, becoming conscious and observing your old thoughts and your old actions and replacing it with new thoughts and new actions, that's when it really starts to change because you'll just start feeling different. Because literally you are different. You're conjuring up a new identity by reinforcing yourself with new thoughts and new actions. You're a whole new person. And that's people are gonna come around you like, damn, like what's up with you? Like you changed for real because you have. In a good way. At least I think in a good way. I don't really know who you are as a person, but you get the point. Okay? And one thing you really have to do is invoke emotion into these things that you're doing. Because without implementing emotion into these thoughts and actions that you're doing, it's like driving a car with no gas. It's gonna feel like nothing's changing. You know what I mean? Because it's just emotion is so important that the mind and the body have to be the same. You can't feel one way, think differently, and you can't think differently and feel one way. It has to be aligned. Okay? If they're different, nothing's gonna change. It has to be the same. All right. Now, so what I want you to do is take whatever aspect of your life or your reality that you're trying to improve, okay? And I want you to break it down, just like how I did to myself. You want to first become conscious and observe your thoughts and actions and discover your identity, your cause, and what's causing the effects of your life in the first place. And after that, you want to fix that cause. Okay, you want to fix that cause by, like I said, thinking new things and acting differently repeatedly. First, become conscious of that negative thought of your old ideal self and replace it with something that your ideal self would have. And then after you fix the cause and your belief and identity yourself, then you can change all the effects that you want. That's when you really start to get into action. Y'all feel me? All right, so I want you to take that and I want you to implement that. And if you do that, I promise you improve your reality by 69%.